$70 million vanish from the Central Bank of Brazil without a single alarm being triggered. No broken doors, no forced entry, no witnesses. For 3 months, 25 men secretly tunneled beneath the city, moving tons of earth, rerouting power lines, drilling through concrete and steel, undetected, unseen, unstoppable. When the bank opens, the vault is empty, the money is gone, and the criminals have disappeared into the crowd. Some will become millionaires, some will be hunted, some will betray each other, and most will never be identified. This is not just a robbery. This is the most audacious bank heist in Brazilian history.
Fortaleza, Brazil, March 2005. A white van pulls up to a small, unremarkable house on Rua 25 de Março. 2 men step out, boots caked in mud, work clothes stained from days of labor. They open the back doors and begin unloading equipment. A neighbor approaches, curious, cautious. They're starting a landscaping business, one man explains. Grama synthetica, artificial grass installation. The neighbor nods, satisfied. The house has been empty for months. It's good to see someone using it. But the neighbor doesn't see the truth. The bags of soil aren't coming in. They're going out. Inside the van, Luis Fernando Rivero, 42, career criminal, former bank security consultant, watches carefully. He knows the banks he once protected better than anyone. Now he's going to rob one. And this house? He rented it for one reason. It sits exactly 256 feet from the Central Bank of Brazil, a straight line from basement to vault. For the next 3 months, Luis and his crew will dig a tunnel under downtown Fortaleza. Clay, rock, underground water pipes, electrical cables. Nothing will stop them. The prize, 164 million reais, roughly 70 million US dollars. And right now, standing outside that house with shovels and pickaxes, Luis has no certainty it will work. Will the tunnel collapse? Will they hit a water main and flood? Will anyone notice 25 men disappearing into a house night after night? All he knows, the vault is there. The money is there. Nobody expects someone to dig 256 feet through solid ground to reach it. In 96 days, that money will be gone. Brazilian police won't know what hit them. But in a crew of 25, mistakes are inevitable. And even one small error can turn the biggest heist in Brazilian history into the country's largest manhunt. The clock is already ticking. 6 months earlier, September 2004, São Paulo. Luis sits in a quiet bar with 4 other men. They drink, they laugh, they talk like old friends. But beneath the surface, they're planning a robbery. One is a former subway engineer, an expert in tunnels, soil, and stability. Another a former bank employee, familiar with security protocols, vault layouts, and guard schedules. A locksmith, skilled in high security systems. And a money launderer, who can move cash without triggering alarms. Luis spreads a map across the table. Central Bank of Brazil, Fortaleza branch. He points to the vault, then to a residential street 2 blocks away. The engineer studies the soil, the geology, the angles. Sandy soil over clay layers. Dangerous, yes, but possible. The tunnel must be roughly 80 meters long, 260 feet, 3 meters deep at minimum. Worked on every night for 3 to 4 months, moving about 1 ton of dirt per day. No alarms triggered, Luis says. No doors broken. We come up from below the sensors. The locksmith asks about the vault door. 4 inches of reinforced steel, time-locked. Luis smiles. They won't touch it. The floor is the weak point. Concrete and rebar. Yes, but not steel. They'll drill through from below. They sit in silence. Risks, rewards, logistics, safety. Then the engineer nods. He's in, but they'll need at least 20 more people. Diggers, support, lookouts. February 2005, Fortaleza. Luis rents the house on Rua 25 de Março. Small, 2 bedrooms. Garage, nothing special. Landlord asks its use. Luis, landscaping company, equipment storage, 3 months rent, cash, no questions. Next day, the crew sets up a painted sign, Grama Synthetica, Professional Landscaping Services. The white van outside, garage stocked with rakes, shovels, artificial grass. Neighbors see legitimacy, nothing unusual. Inside, preparations for something else entirely. Furniture removed from the back bedroom. Floor tiles pulled up. Digging begins. First challenge, soil harder than expected. Clay mixed with rock, but Luis and his men press on. Progress is slow, painful. Every inch takes effort. Every night a battle against earth and time. The engineer adjusts the plan. Better tools, pneumatic drills, reinforced shovels, more time. Luis nods, orders the equipment. They can't rush. One mistake, one slip, and the tunnel collapses. Or worse, someone notices. By the end of the first week, they've dug 10 feet down, created a vertical shaft, reinforced walls with wooden beams. Now begins the horizontal tunnel. The engineer calculates the angle, the direction. Compass and maps mark a straight line, 256 feet northeast, directly toward the bank. They dig in pairs, 4-hour shifts, tight, claustrophobic, suffocating. One digs while the other loads dirt into buckets. Buckets pass through the vertical shaft, up into the garage, where another team transfers the soil into the white van. Every night it drives across Fortaleza, dumping dirt in construction sites, empty lots, anywhere that won't draw attention. The work is exhausting, dangerous. The tunnel barely wide enough for one person. Walls constantly threaten collapse. Wooden supports every few feet hold the earth back. Air is thin. Ventilation becomes a problem. They rig PVC pipes with an electric fan to push fresh air through, barely enough to breathe. By the end of March, they've dug 100 feet, halfway, but tensions rise. Crew is exhausted, frustrated. Arguments flare, complaints about pace, workload. Luis calls a meeting. He reminds them why they're here. $70 million split 25 ways, roughly $2.8 million per person. Life-changing money, retirement money, never work again money, focus, returns. They keep digging. April 2005. The tunnel reaches 200 feet. Almost there. New problems appear. At 180 feet, a water pipe. Not major, but it seeps, turning dirt to mud. The engineer decides, dig around it, slightly adjust the angle, adds distance, but safer than breaking the pipe. 220 feet, electrical cables, underground power lines feeding the city. Cut the wrong one, and half of Fortaleza goes dark. They're discovered. It's game over. The engineer studies each wire. Which ones can move? Which are live? Slowly, carefully, they reroute two, securing them along the walls. They pray the insulation holds. It does. By late April, tunnel almost complete, 250 feet, 6 feet from the bank foundation. The biggest challenge yet, the bank's basement. Concrete 4 feet thick, reinforced with steel. They'll drill carefully, quietly. Specialized equipment arrives, diamond-tipped drill bits. Expensive, loud, necessary. Saturday, August 6, 2005, 11 p.m., final preparations. 4 men enter the tunnel, carrying drills, lights, buckets, crawling through 250 feet of narrow passage, the end, where dirt meets concrete. The engineer positions the drill, marks the spot. Thunder echoes in the confined space as the drill bites into foundation. 30 minutes later, pause, listen, no alarms, no sirens, no response. By 2 a.m., 18 inches penetrated, halfway. By 4 a.m., breakthrough. Concrete falls away. A rush of cool air fills the tunnel. They're in. The engineer widens the hole with chisel and hammer. By 6 a.m., the opening is large enough for a man to climb. One enters the bank basement, concrete walls, cleaning supplies, storage boxes, and above, metal grate, the vault access. Signals are sent back. They're in position, but they wait. Patience is everything. Saturday morning approaches. The bank will open in a few hours. Hours remain. Security guards patrol above. They cannot rush. They wait until Saturday night, when the bank closes for the weekend, when they'll have 48 hours of uninterrupted access. The crew retreats, crawling back through the tunnel, returning to the house. Luis tells everyone, rest, eat, prepare. Tonight they empty the vault. Saturday, August 6, 2005, 8 p.m. The central bank closes. Security guards lock doors, activate alarms, begin their weekend shift. Unaware, 250 feet below, 25 men prepare the heist of a lifetime. By 10 p.m., the first team enters the tunnel, 5 men at a time, carrying bags, drills, flashlights, water. They reach the basement, crawl through the hole in the foundation, and stand inside the bank. Vault access, a metal grate, bolted but unmonitored, because no one expects intruders from below. Bolts removed, the first man climbs. Inside, metal shelves stacked with boxes, each filled with cash, bundled 100 real notes, 50 real notes, more money than they've ever seen. Signals are sent. Others climb up. They begin loading bags, methodically. 500,000 rees per bag, 25 pounds each. One in the vault, one in the basement, 6 men in the tunnel, passing bags like a conveyor belt. By midnight, 50 bags removed, roughly $10 million. By 2 a.m., 100 bags, $20 million. The work is exhausting, the tunnel cramped, yet no complaints. 3 months of digging, 3 months of risk, finally paying off. By 4 a.m., 200 bags, $40 million. Sunday, August 7th, 2005, 6 a.m. By sunrise, 300 bags, $60 million. Vault half empty. Neighbors waking. White van trips might attract attention. Luis decides, pause, resume at night. The crew retreats, exhausted but exhilarated. House filled with money, bags stacked on beds, floors, closets. 60 million reais, only halfway done. Sunday night, August 7th, 2005, 8 p.m. Crew returns to the tunnel, faster, confident. They know the system. By 10 p.m., back in vault. Midnight, another 50 bags, $10 million. By 2 a.m., another 50. Shelves emptied, bills, coins, foreign currency. By 4 a.m., last bags removed. Total haul, 164.8 million reais, roughly $70 million. Crew stands stunned. They did it. Luis refuses a note or calling card. Less evidence is safer. Back through the basement, the tunnel remains open. Equipment not yet removed. Final trips needed. By 6 a.m., all the crew was back in the house. Vaughn has made the AR last trip. Tunnel empty, equipment stowed. Luis looks at 25 men, exhausted, dirty, rich. Go home. Clean up. Act normal. Don't spend money suddenly. Don't attract attention. Cash divided later, once things cool down. Crew disperses in small groups on different routes. House on Rua 25 de Março, quiet again. Just another small business. Nothing unusual. Inside, 164 million reais, hidden in bags, waiting. 256 feet away, the Central Bank of Brazil remains blissfully unaware. The Central Bank of Brazil has no idea it's been robbed. Monday, August 8th, 2005, 7:30 a.m. Doors unlock. Security guards begin their morning routines. Everything seems normal. 9 a.m. A bank manager enters the vault for a routine inventory check and freezes. The shelves are empty, completely empty. Boxes gone, money gone. He runs to alert security. Chaos erupts. Guards rush to the vault. Managers make emergency calls. Police are contacted. At first, no one understands. No broken doors. No triggered alarms. No forced entry. Then a security guard notices a metal grate in the vault floor. It's been removed. He peers through the opening. 250 feet of darkness. A tunnel entrance, 3 feet wide. Police arrive. Federal police. Military police. Bank security. Men crawl through the tunnel, emerging inside the house on Rua 25 de Março. Empty, abandoned. Just gardening equipment, artificial grass samples, a painted sign for a landscaping company that never really existed. The crew is gone. The money is gone. Neighbors are questioned. Did you see anything unusual? They describe the white van, men in work clothes, nighttime activity, but nothing suspicious. One mentions dirt being removed nightly. The van always loaded. Police realize the truth. The tunnel. Months of digging, right under everyone's noses. Audacious. Brilliant. completely successful. But in a crew of 25, how long until someone slips? 3 weeks later, a man walks into a car dealership in Fortaleza. He examines a brand new Honda Civic, black leather interior, top of the line. The salesman asks how he'll pay. The man produces a thick envelope, cash, 45,000 raise, roughly $18,000. When asked where the money came from, he smiles. I won the lottery. Lucky week. The salesman nods, processes the paperwork, but senses something is off. The man is nervous, sweating, checking the door. The bills are all 100 real notes, sequential, crisp, experienced enough to know a heist when he sees one. The salesman calls the federal police. Within hours, authorities track the car, the buyer, his movements. He leads them to 2 other crew members, simultaneous raids on 3 houses, stacks of 100 real notes still in central bank wrappers. Arrests follow, interrogation, initially silence, lawyers present, refusal to cooperate, but a deal is offered. Reduced sentence if names are given. One breaks, reveals the operation, identifies Luis Fernando as the leader. By September 2005, 8 crew members are arrested, but Luis is still missing. Most of the money remains hidden. Luis knows the police are closing in. Watching the news, time is running out. Decision, leave Brazil, take his share, disappear. August 2005, Luis crosses into Paraguay, carrying roughly $8 million in cash spread across multiple trips, settles in Ciudad del Este, a border city known for smuggling. Brazilian criminals hide there, months of quiet, apartment rented, low profile, isolated, bored, loneliness sets in. Mistake. He calls friends and family back in Brazil. Brazilian police are monitoring. Calls are traced. Paraguayan authorities begin surveillance. November 2005, Luis spotted leaving a cafe, arrested the next morning. No resistance, just a sigh. 4 months of freedom gone, extradited to Brazil, trial quick, evidence overwhelming. Luis Fernando Ribeiro was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. But here's where it gets interesting. Of the $70 million stolen, only $8 million was recovered. Police arrested 13 crew members, but 12 escaped. Never caught, never identified. Those 12 split roughly $50 million. Where is that money now? The largest heist in Brazilian history, pulled off beneath the noses of the authorities, remains a legend, a masterclass in planning, patience, and audacity. Luis got caught, others vanished. But the heist itself, $70 million in cash, gone in the night, remains unmatched.